time I flew was in 1926 with
Wow.
my mother. And that
1926.
that was a
Where did you go?
Sweden.
You went to Sweden by plane in
Yeah.
1926.
And then we went to France by plane. But I was just in high school, so you know.
Where did you travel in Sweden? To where you came from? Your family came from?
Do you know Sweden?
Well, I just...
We didn't do any kind of sightseeing, but
So since you were little, you went back and forth to Sweden?
yeah.
Okay.
And Germany, because my father was German. But we, after 26th, we still traveled by boat.
But that one flight you took in 26.
I remember that.
What was the plane like in 1926?
It was so luxurious.
Really?
The meals compared to what they have now. When I think back, and there was soap and perfume and everything in the little laboratory.
Wow. How many passengers? A small plane, or just
It wasn't a smooth ride. I don't remember how many passengers.
Did they stop anywhere, like Iceland, or did they go?
They must have. No, I don't remember, because I've taken so many
Yeah,
flights since then.
Just remember the luxury.
Yeah. My mother was a dress designer, so she wanted to go to Paris. So we went there to learn. She wanted to learn more. But.
And what did your father do?
He passed away when I was 3.
Oh, wow. So you just went to Germany because his family was there?
Yeah. She wanted us to meet them. And then she was so embarrassed because we couldn't speak German. And they didn't, now they all speak English, but then they didn't.
Yeah.
But when my father died, I must have been a big help to my mother because I ran away and jumped in the grave.
Oh.
I was only 3, I guess.
Oh, dear. Did you have brothers or sisters?
I have a twin brother.
A twin brother?
Yeah. He behaved himself.
Well, girls are precocious.
Well, I was he just adored me, I guess. Anyway.
So she raised the two of you alone then afterwards, and worked as a dress designer.
Yeah. My mother came over, and her sister was here. And she was working in the kitchen of a very wealthy home.
That's common.
And my mother worked there for a little while, and then she got a place where she just did sewing in a wealthy home, and then she started doing her dress designing, and then just stayed with designing dresses. She'd make them out of paper and sometimes out of cheesecloth. She'd make patterns. And
this is in the late 1800s now. Must be. She was born in 1876.
Yeah, right.
She probably came over, in her early 20s, do you think? How old do you think she was?
See, I don't know.
Yeah. But
I don't know when she came over here.
Okay.
But she worked herself, so she was just working for the wealthy people.
Yeah.
And I was telling you, I've lost my train of thought.
So she came over, and she was working in wealthy homes. Then she was working as a dressmaker and a dress designer.
Yeah.
And she hadn't met your father yet.
Well, I think she had.
Okay.
Somewhere in there.
Okay.
She'd met him on the boat going back and forth.
Okay. She went back and forth every 2 years then, too?
About that.
Okay.
And so he couldn't have lived more than 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I don't know how long he lived. He started to build a house on Long Island. They thought they would like to live on the island. So then he passed away, and we went to school, as I said, in New York, and then we knew there was a house that had been built. My mother was renting it, so that's why we wanted to go on in the country.
Gymnase,
Yeah.
And then after that, sometimes there are specialized schools. So that's what you're saying. She went to her high school there and then specialized school
Yeah.
in Sweden.
Right.
And so she brought that
And then
talent with her.
She worked somewhere where they made dresses
In Sweden.
in Sweden.
Okay.
And then she just wanted to do more. So when her sister went to the States, she came.
And on one of the trips back and forth, she met your father.
Yeah.
And he was in exporting.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she had this trade because she had worked before she got married, so she was able to...
Oh, yeah, she was working all along.
Okay, she never
Even
stopped
when
working.
No.
Okay. Which is good. She wouldn't have had something to do and earn money if...
Oh, absolutely.
Because there were very little insurance, I hear, in
And
those
she
days.
had to have, until recently, no, it's been a while, but all the while she lived, we had a governess that would come in and be with us during the day when we were little.
Very little. Okay, I was
And
asking
we
about
had kindergarten, and those first years, she was a beautiful teacher. And then when we came upstate, she'd still come and visit us.
Where was she from?
New York City.
She wasn't an immigrant then. She'd been here.
And then our school was just across the street when we were little, and
That public school you told us
wasn't
about.
too far away. So we could walk there. Life, working all day and then coming home to the island. A lot of times she would stay over on weekends, though. And we were always good. A lot of people said, boy, you must have had fun. But no, we did what we were supposed to. We had to fend for ourselves.
So you had to do your own cooking, or was there a homemaker or housekeeper?
No. That we were in high school, and she cooked a lot on weekends so that we'd have plenty to eat. And I don't know, we didn't seem to mind.
Well,
we had each other and we got along.
And you wanted to be there. You told her you wanted to live there, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what we wanted. We take a train to school every morning.
Really? Okay.
We went to Hicksville, which was a town
But you didn't like
nearby.
the name of.
Yeah. And if my brother wanted to stay, he was into high jumping. It was 4 miles. He'd walk the 4 miles home
Okay.
because there wouldn't be any other train. Yeah. It's funny how you forget all those things until you talk about them. Yeah, we moved to Long Island, although she kept her place in New York. She had an apartment. So it was fun sometimes to go to New York and go to a show and then come home to the island.
Did she ever talk about what your father did do for a living or was doing when she met
Yeah,
him?
he did exporting, importing, and I don't know what. But she didn't talk about it much, but she wanted us to learn German. We studied German, went to a German school, and they were very strong on gymnastics, so we did a lot of that.
This was private schools on Long
No,
Island?
this was in the church.
Okay. Okay. These are out...
not in high school. We went to a public school.
Yeah.
And this was just in New York City.
In New York City before
What they call it,
school?
parochial
schools? Church schools.
Yeah. And then, where do we go from there? I got into scouting way back then.
Yeah. Now, what did your brother do?
Oh, he was in Boy Scouts. I don't know. What did I do?
Now, you
We
both
played a lot.
went to Hartwick College?
No, my brother went to Northeastern
Okay.
College. But
What was he interested in? Did he major in?
I know his degree. It's not mechanics, but I can't say it right now.
Something engineering, something like
Yeah.
that? Okay.
He was really kind of inventing things. He invented a certain bulb, which is now extinct. You know, they've gone. But he was a lot different from me. He was very quiet and very intellectual.
You were not obviously not identical. You had to